Imagine a world blanketed by ice, where survival was a daily battle against the elements and colossal beasts. In this ancient, unforgiving landscape, our ancestors faced monumental challenges. But they weren't alone. Unraveling one of history's most profound partnerships, we journey back to the Pleistocene epoch, where an unlikely alliance between early humans and cooperative wolves revolutionized hunting and shaped the very trajectory of human civilization. This is the story of how a majestic, extinct giant became the ultimate prize, hunted by a strategic duo that changed the world forever. Our story begins in the depths of the last ice age, an era of vast, frozen tundras and towering glaciers. Europe, Asia, and North America were dramatically different, home to megafauna that dwarfed modern animals. Early human populations, few and scattered, faced immense pressure. Life was a relentless cycle of seeking food, shelter, and warmth. Survival hinged on ingenuity, cooperation, and an acute understanding of a perilous environment. This was the stage for an extraordinary chapter in human history, where the cold, stark reality demanded innovation beyond simple tools. Dominating this icy expanse was the woolly mammoth, a true leviathan. Standing up to 13 feet tall and weighing over 6 tons, these magnificent creatures were perfectly adapted to the cold, with thick fur, insulating fat, and massive tusks for clearing snow. They grazed on the mammoth steppe, a rich grassland ecosystem now long gone. For early humans, the mammoth was both a terrifying force of nature and a walking, breathing treasure trove of resources: meat for sustenance, bones for tools and shelters, hide for clothing and warmth. It was the ultimate prize, but also the ultimate danger. Early humans, armed with primitive stone tools and an evolving intellect, were formidable hunters in their own right. They stalked smaller game, trapped animals, and occasionally managed to bring down larger prey through sheer numbers and cunning. Their weapons included spears with sharpened stone tips, sometimes thrown with atlatls for greater force. Yet, confronting a single adult woolly mammoth head-on was a suicidal endeavor. It required more than just strength. It demanded unprecedented levels of strategy, coordination, and perhaps a revolutionary new partnership. Long before domestication, humans and wild wolves shared a common landscape and a common challenge: hunger. Wolves, like humans, were apex predators, but also scavengers. They would follow human hunting parties, hoping to glean scraps from kills, and vice versa. These initial interactions were likely tense, marked by caution and competition. Yet, in the harsh environment where every calorie counted, mutual observation could have slowly revealed a surprising commonality: a shared interest in large prey and a mutual threat from other predators like cave lions or bears. The shift from wary competitors to tentative allies was gradual. Perhaps a particularly severe winter pushed both species to the brink. Wolves, with their superior sense of smell and hearing, could detect distant prey or warn of approaching danger. Humans, with their tools and organized hunting, could bring down larger animals. The benefit was mutual. Wolves gained consistent access to calorie-rich offal, while humans benefited from enhanced detection and tracking. This wasn't friendship, but a pragmatic, evolving pact, the first steps towards a bond that would forever alter both species. Over countless generations, the most cooperative wolves, those less fearful and more adaptable, naturally gravitated towards human settlements. They benefited from a steady food supply, while humans gained invaluable assistance. These proto-dogs weren't yet the breeds we know today, but their ancestors were already undergoing subtle evolutionary changes, both physical and behavioral. Their presence amplified human hunting capabilities, particularly for large, dangerous prey like the woolly mammoth. This wasn't just about food, it was about survival, protection, and the birth of humanity's oldest friendship. Hunting a mammoth cooperatively with wolves was a masterclass in ancient strategy. Humans observed mammoth migration patterns, identified vulnerable individuals, the old, sick, or young, and planned ambushes. The terrain was key. Narrow ravines, bogs, or cliff edges could be used to their advantage. The combined intelligence of humans, understanding leverage and physics, merged with the wolves' innate predatory instincts. This collective wisdom transformed a suicidal confrontation into a calculated, albeit still perilous, operation, a testament to early cognitive leaps. When the hunt commenced, the roles were distinct and complementary. Humans, with their projectile weapons, needed to get close enough for a killing blow. This is where the wolves excelled. Their speed and agility allowed them to harass and harry the flanks of the mammoth herd, distracting adults, separating a target, or driving a chosen individual toward a pre-planned trap or ambush point. They were the herders, the agitators, wearing down the giant beast with relentless nips and barks, confusing its senses and forcing it into a more vulnerable position for the human hunters. Once the mammoth was sufficiently isolated or trapped, the human hunters moved in. Using strategically placed pit traps, boggy ground, or a narrow defile, they aimed for vulnerable spots. Thrusting spears, sometimes tipped with obsidian or flint, targeted soft tissue or vital organs. It was a perilous dance between life and death. The hunters had to be fearless, precise, and united. The combined efforts of the wolf pack's relentless pursuit and the humans' focused attack often proved to be the decisive factor in bringing down such a formidable, dangerous quarry. A successful mammoth hunt was a monumental achievement, a communal celebration of survival. The carcass provided an immense bounty, tons of meat, enough to feed a small group for weeks or even months. But it offered more than just food. The bones were fashioned into sturdy tools, weapons, and structural elements for shelters. The hide, painstakingly prepared, became warm clothing, blankets, and tent coverings. Every part of the mammoth was utilized, sustaining the community and fostering a sense of shared purpose. The wolves, loyal partners, would share in the feast, reinforcing their bond. The reign of the woolly mammoth and the epic hunts that defined an era eventually came to an end. As the Ice Age receded around 10,000 years ago, rapid climate change transformed the mammoth steppe into forests and wetlands, eliminating their primary food source. Habitat fragmentation and continued hunting pressure from a growing human population, now expertly aided by their canine companions, pushed the mammoths towards extinction. Their last refuges on remote islands eventually succumbed. A majestic era of giants passed, leaving behind only fossilized remnants and enduring legends. The cooperative hunting of the woolly mammoth was more than just a means to survive. It was a crucible that forged one of the most significant interspecies relationships in history. This alliance deepened the bond between humans and wolves, leading eventually to the domestication of dogs. It refined human hunting techniques, enhanced our social structures, and accelerated our cognitive development. While the mammoths vanished, the legacy of this Ice Age partnership lives on in every loyal canine companion by our side, a living testament to a time when two disparate species chose to face the wilderness together. From the frigid plains of the Ice Age to the comfort of our modern homes, the echoes of this ancient alliance resonate deeply. The hunting of the woolly mammoth with cooperative wolves wasn't just a survival tactic. It was a defining moment for humanity, a partnership that taught us about cooperation, strategy, and the profound power of interspecies connection. It laid the groundwork for our enduring bond with dogs, a relationship that continues to enrich our lives to this very day. This forgotten chapter in history reminds us that even in the harshest of times, alliances can unlock incredible potential, shaping not just our past, but our present and future.